but just the situation is such that okay, I have to teach you this one. So I would like to request to everyone, do not copy my work, try to do on your own as well. Anyway, so let's get started now to the work. Let's go to the unit section for today. Let me see the unit form, wherever it is. Let me see. Unit. Is that assignment to tree, handover receipt, platform form one login? I don't know where it is. Let me log in and see where is that unit one. That's unit, that's assignment management system. That should be in the unit section. Okay, I can find it out by going to the dashboard. Let me go to my dashboard and then I can find it out. So what is my dashboard? That's a form one maybe. So I think that's unit one. So let me just, what is the name? So I think, okay, that's a subject form. Sorry, that's a subject form. So let me choose subject form. Okay, that's it here. So this is it. So let me make it something bigger. Instead of this, let me make it somewhat bigger. This button does not need to be that big. That's okay. Actually, I could at this position. I need to make this bigger. And I just combo box. I do not need the value to be supplied by the end user. So I'll just change the property to drop down style to drop down list. I just change the property of drop down style to drop down list. Now, first of all, programs will be populated, batch will be populated, and semesters will be populated here. So let's do that work, everyone. So I guess that once I select the program, so if I run my system, you might see if you look into the batch consists of program and the program consists of the batch. So what I really want in my case is, for example, here, if I select the program, only the corresponding batches should be displayed onto my combo box, next combo box. Okay, and all the semesters should be populated here from the semester sections. So let's see how you can do that, everyone. So the particular program has a specific batch. So let's try to solve that issue. So before that, let us try to just get into the properties of the text boxes and the buttons. So let's get to the property of this and let me go to the event and let me, okay, I don't need an event at all. So first of all, I just need to bind the value to the program batch and the semester. So let me go to view code and let me again zoom my screen to 150% first. And now I need a program class defined first. So I have a data access class, a program class, DC equals to new data access program class. That's fine. And under form load, I just want to display the program. So program. Okay, so first thing that I would like to do over here is to rename all the controls. So let me name these controls. I just forgot that part. So this is CMB program. This is CMB batch. This is CMB semester. This is CMB unit name. That's I think that's a TXT unit name. This is TXT unit code. This is TXT level. This is TXT credit. Done with all those naming text boxes. Now let me rename the button. So this is BTN add, BTN update. This one is BTN delete. The last one is BTN close. This one to be DGB details. Let me change the alternative or default style color to some meaningful color. Let us have this color. and auto size columns mode to fill, and selection mode to full multi-select to false, and selection mode to full row select. Alright everyone, so we did the namings and all. So now let's get into the program part. So here I just need to bind it, CMD program, CMD program data source should be now equal to pc.get all programs, and here you have CMD program dot display member and the value menu, pc dot, and then you, sorry, not pc, I'm sorry, this should be program name, value member should be also program name. Actually I am not concerned much about to the database. Otherwise, if you have the connection with the database, you will be having created a more complex relationship, but I do not want to focus much on the database, which you will learn in the next semester maybe. CME program does selected index will be equal to -1. That's it. Okay, so we did it. Program should be populated now. Let's go to units. Yeah, program is populated, and once I select computing, all those tabs should be related to the computing should be populated here. So let's see how. So this requires some logic to be written here. So under batch class, let me say there must be my batch class here. Okay, where is my batch class? Okay, here it is, batch class. Now I want to select only the batch with a specific program name. So let me make it very simple. Let me copy this function. Let me paste it here. Let me not write everything from scratch. So now let me get started again. Okay, so let us say get all batch by program name. By program, let's say, and here I need to pass a parameter called program name. Make it clear, everyone. So you need a program name. You are filtering by a program name, so I just pass a parameter called program. So here I just have to filter. Select start from batch to where program name equals to @program name. So I'm filtering with the help of a program name now. Now since this is provided as a parameter, I need to pass this value. How can I pass this? Just show you. I can just cmd.command type equals to command type dot text. Even if you don't write, if it is not a stop procedure, then this really doesn't make sense. And then what I can do is dot add with value. So be giving me now program name. Red program name. And that is coming from this function called program name. Now you need to remember this function name, which is get all batch by program name and program name as a parameter. So now let's go to the unit form again. Let me subject form again, and now let's populate this here on the checkbox click of the program. So let me click over here, and let me put let's try catch here, exception ex, and obviously I'll throw the message if there is an error. That's done. Now let's try to get it done here. CMB, what was it? Batch. That data source should be now equal to. Now I need to create a class of the batch here. So let me create a batch class. Data access layer dot batch class bc equals to new data access layer dot batch class, and here I need to have bc dot get all batch program name, and you need to pass a program name which is cmd program dot text, and this will populate all the program batch dot value member should be equal to now batch name, display members will be also a batch name, and initially nothing has to be selected. -1. So that's a batch. Let me save this work and let me show you what actually I have done here. I did it very fast. Let me go to unit, and now up to now you will see there is nothing inside this batch. Once I select computing, we'll have a batch of the computing here. Once I select hospitality, we'll get hospitality batch here. But I have a business batch, so no batch for the business here. So whatever the batch I will create, the corresponding batch will be displayed here. Whatever the program I create, the corresponding batch will be displayed here. Okay everyone, so let's again get started back. Okay, so what we did is we have a batch now selected. So now we are ready to go with this creation of the we also need to bind the semester. So let me get all the semester everyone. So I hope that whatever is the semester, I'll get all the semester here. So for that I'll just create another instance. It's a semester class sc equals to new that I just get the semester, and now on the form node I just want to get all the semester populated onto my combo box. So I can do cmd semester dot data source equals to sc dot get all semesters, and again I'll repeat the process. Cmd semester dot display number equals to semester name. I hope that's the semester name, and the value should be also the same. Semester name. So we're done with this, and cmd semester dot selected index should be equal to now -1. So we have now done with the semesters as well. So if you run my program, you will see that let me go to the units, and there is error. I think the error will be the semester name. So let me see why is that error there. It's good to have the error in the beginning. So let me see why is the error. Assignment database. Let me see a semester table. Let me take a table semester, and then let me go to semester table, and that's a okay semester. Okay, that's simply a semester, not the semester name. That is simply a semester. So I do not have to have this. Okay. There is no semester name. There is only a semester. Let's run this again and check. And now let's see the units. I hope you have a program. I hope you have a batch. I hope you get a semester, all semester displayed. Perfect. Now we have all these combo boxes bound to the controls, bound to the value that you need. And now we need to, by providing this unit name, by providing the unit code level and credit and clicking on this add button, the values will be populated to the database and this will be displayed onto this grid view. So this is what we want to do for now today. So for that again we need to create a table that will have this all informations like program, batch, semester, unit code and the label and the credit value. So let's get started with SQL Server now again, everyone. Let me connect. And let me just connect to my database. Let me connect to the database. Let's say new query here. And let's create table, unit table. And that is let's say program ID. First of all, we need a unit ID. Primary key. And let's say we have program name. So where of let's say 200. We have batch where of 200. We have semester where of 100. We have unit name where of 100. We have unit code where of 100. I think that's unit name should be 200 but that might be long sometime. Let us not take a risk. Unit code and then we have a label. That's a where let's say level 344. That's make it 10. And then you have a credit value. So credit let's make a where of 10. So either that's a 10 to 15 credit. Let's make it integer because credit is an integer value. Sometimes I might have to compare the subject whose credit value is more than 15. So in that case I just cannot do that. I just need a credit integer. Okay, so let us, since we have done all the stable value here, I think is there anything missing? Program, a batch, a semester, unit name, unit code, a label, and a credit is done. So let me just maximize this and let me execute this. So table is created, absolutely fine. Now I need to create a stored procedure as we have been doing till now. So let me create a stored procedure. So let us say I can create the stored procedure like create procedure sp underscore manage units, and we have again as begin and you have as begin and end, and you have now we need to have all those parameters. So unit ID integer, you have a program name as a varchar, you have a batch as a varchar, you have semester as varchar, you have unit name as a varchar 200, have unit code at varchar 100. We have label varchar 10. We have credit, that's an integer, and also we need a mode of type integer. And under s begin we write our query. So if mode equals to 1, we'll perform an insert operation. So insert into unit table the values, something value will be applied. So let me just go and have that value here. So we just need a program name for now. Program name, batch, semester, unit name, unit code, label, and credit. So these are the things that you would need here. And let's say in under values we also need the parameters for this variable. So we need @program name, @batch, @semester, @unit name, @unit code, and we need to have @label, and we need to have @credit. We are done with inserting all the values to the unit table. Now we have again if mode equals to 2, then we perform an update operation. So update unit table, set program name equals to program name, batch equals to batch, semester equals to semester, unit name equals to unit name, unit code equals to unit code, label equals to label, credit equals to credit, where unit ID should be equal to unit ID. We have done with the update operation, everyone. Now the last thing that we need to do is a delete operation. So let me say, in order to make a delete operation, we have if mode equals to 3, then we want to delete operation. So delete unit table, and where delete from unit table, where unit ID should be equal to unit ID. So I think we are done with the stored procedure, and if everything goes right, this will be executed successfully. So let me select this all, executed, and you can say query completed successfully. That means this stored procedure has been successfully been executed. Now let me test this stored procedure, because I may not be sure that this might work. Okay, let me just get into the program, because I also need to program the batch and the unit name. So let me just leave it as it is now. So I'll correct it from the front end if there is any. I'll just check it from the front end, and if there is an error, I'll just fix it for now. So this is the name of my stored procedure, sp_manage units. Now again, I'll go to my front end. Let me just close everything. And today again, I'll just follow the same approach that we have done in the last session. For example, in the last session, what we did is we just created a class for everything that we have been doing. So for unit also, I'll be creating a class. So let me go to data access layer, and let me click add, and let me create a class. And again, the whole thing will be repeated here. Let me create a class, and let me name this as a unit class. And done. So we created a class now here. So first of all, you need to have this both namespaces here using system.data. Using system.data SQL find. And also, I would like to have one namespace here. I would like to have one namespace here. For example, let's say I want to have a namespace here using system.windows.com. So I just want to display message in the form of a dialog box. That's why I would make this form. So we need to make a connection, SQL connection first of all. So this is what is required. and here you have a connection class dot connection string that we have done in the very first step. And now I'll create a function public bool manage units, and there we need to have some parameter which is a unit ID. And let me see what parameters I have. So let me just go to store procedure data, and you might see there is something called manage units. Let me just print this one. It's unit string program name batch semester unit name unit code label, and that's integer credit and integer mode. So we just read all the value. We have all the value, all those parameters defined here. Let me create a variable rs equals to false. Let me return this rs, and now let me put that everything under try catch block exception ex, and I would like to display the message in the message box also. I would like to display the error in this message box. Now here I can write now SQL command that executes the stored procedure that I have created. sp underscore manage units is my stored procedure for now. And let me see connection. You need to pass a connection every time you pass a query. So you need to specify the command type. This is very mandatory here. If you don't specify, you'll be getting an error. So whenever you're using a stored procedure, so this is very mandatory to define what type of command type you are using. So if it is a stored procedure, you have to define cmd.command type equals to command type of the stored procedure. So there is very important process here. Now we need to pass all the parameters. So cmd.parameters.add value, and here we have something like at the rate whatever the parameters you have, unique ID. You have, let's say, the rate program name, and we have a program name field. Batch, batch here. We have a semester. You have unit name. So let us have a unit name here. And then you have a unit code. Label. So you have a label here. You have credit. So you have a credit here. And finally you have a mode. So let's have a mode here. So all done with the parameters, provisions, and everything. Now let me try to execute this query. So that is the result equals to cmd.execute none query. And let me, okay, before that we need to open the connection. You cannot directly do this. You need to open the connection, and then I can execute the query. So let me check. And then we have a close the connection. I'll check if number of row effectors is greater than 0, then we'll just say rs equals to true, that means value is set. Else we'll just say rs equals to false, that means value is not set. So this is how we can make and install update operations on the unit. Similarly, I need to retrieve all the values. I'll just be having public data table. get all units. So we'll just create a data table here. And we'll just try to return this data. And here we'll write a step procedure, script command. I will select unit table. And for further also filtering, we can apply some more query. Now we'll open the connection. We'll try to execute this reader file. SQL data reader. DRC equal to cmd.execute reader. And we'll go to it to the DR. We'll close the connection now. And finally, all the units are returned here. Let me save this work. Let me build this work. So no error till now. Now let me go to the subject form, and now let us write the code for making an install operation. So let me go to this add button, click. First of all, let's put a try catch statement here, exception exe, and let's throw this error. And before that, let me just make sure we need to bind it to the grid view. So let me bind it to the grid view under this one constructor. I'll just bind that to the grid view. So dgb details.data source will be equal to. So before that, we need to call the object of this unit class. So let me call the object of this unit class. So data unit class will be equal to now. So we created the object of the unit class. Now let's bind it to the data grid view. Whatever the data you have, the data source will be bind to the grid view. The data source equals to now uc.get all units. So this will get all the units from the database and bind it to the grid view. That means this will show all the units to the grid view when the form is loaded. And now I can just create a variable arrays to check whether the values will be inserted or not. So before that, let me also make one variable here. Let me choose a variable here. Okay, so let me just have here what we need is a I don't know what I was doing. Yeah, I just needed an ID. So let us say I can create unique ID. User unit ID equals to 0 for now, and now I can have it here. Whole arrays equals to let's say uc.manage units unit ID. Let's say unit ID as we have defined earlier. Program name is cmd program.text. Batch is cmd batch.text. Semester is cmd semester.text. Unit is txt unit name.text. And then you have txt unit code.text. Now you have level, so txt level.text, and you have credit, so that's an integer type, so you need to convert it to the integers, integer parts, txt credit.text, and finally mode is one for making an install operation. So let me break this down into small words. Let me break it down. Let me make it more readable. Okay, so we did it all, everyone. Now, if r is equals to true, r is equals to true, then what I can do is I can make sure the user has been created, sorry, units have been added to the database. I can just say message box.show unit information saved to database. Alright, and again dgb details data source should be now equal to this should be now equal to uc.get all units. Otherwise there should be an error. Else I just can tell there is an error. And just error in performing the required operation. I'm done with this one, everyone. Now let me check whether am I doing it right or wrong. Let me set this and let me run this. So let us go to now Unix. Let me choose computing, retake, semester first, and let us say unit name is programming. Unit code let's say 001, level let's say 4, credit let's say 15. Let me click on add, and okay, it's set to the database and it's shown here. Okay, very good. And the very first attempt I have been able to do this, so I think that's fantastic. Network, let's say that's a unit code 2, and let's say professional practice. Let's say that's unit code 3. Let's say now website design. That's unit code 4. Let's click on add. And we're able to add all those units here, everyone. Now we have been able to add the unit here. So again, we need to make the 3 fields blank and all once we are able to add and update or delete. And as I told you yesterday, we can use a loop to do that. Let me go to the designer. Let me name this one is groupbox. Okay, groupbox one. So basically, what I can do is I can definitely do this by using a. I can do that by using by some more. I can just make it more advanced by using a class and all. So for this, let me make a helper class here. So let me right click and so that I do not have to do that every time. Let me create a class and let me create a helper class. Helper class actually, and let me make it zoom it to 150%. So why am I creating these classes? I want to create a function which will clear all the fields of my database. So all my fields, let's say for example. So I just want to have a create a function, public static void and clear control. And for that, it's where you're getting error is because control is not directly accessible. So you need to be using system.windows.forms. And I can just say for each control CTRL. Actually, this is tricky, everyone. So I define a control. So control could be a group box, a panel, whatever. And this is an instance of this control. And if this control, if this C is, and if this is a group box, and if this is a control, and let's say if it is a text box, I want to make a text blank. I can just say if C is text box, then I will just say C.text equals null. Okay, so let me see why is the error. I should not be getting error here. I don't know why I'm getting this error. Okay, I think this is because of this one. So ctrl.controls, it should be ctrl.controls. Now if this is a text box, then this will be blank. If C is combo box, actually I just wanted to have C dot what you call the selected index, but I am not able to do that. So I just let C dot text equals to. I just can make it null. And if there is anything that's error, I'll just make it blank here. So let us see. Actually, I'm just using a very tricky things here. So what I have done is created a function public static void and control ctrl I have passed as a parameter. So this control could be a group box panel, and within that control, and what I'm doing, I'm just doing for each control C. That means if this control C could be a text box, combo box, radio button, whatever, in ctrl, which is a group box or whatever. And if this text box, if this control is a text box, then I'll make it blank. If this is a combo box, I'll make it blank. Let's set this and define this the static, but because I do not want this function to be called, object of this function to be created every time. So let me go to the subject form here again, and here I can just make it like helper class dot clear, and now this will expect a parameter control ctrl. For me now I have put everything into a group box, so I'll just make it group box 1. So this would make my fields blank now. Now I can call this function anywhere. So let me run this and show you the output. Let me go to units and let me create one more unit for, let's say, hospitality. That's this one. So let's do first. Unit name, let's say, contemporary hospitality management. Unit code, let's say 005. Level 4. Credit 15. Let's, for example, let me click add. And you can see the everything is deleted here. Right? Everything got skipped. So this is the beauty of this helper class. Now you can use this helper class anywhere. You can use this anywhere without writing a single piece of code. For example, when I can go to the batch form, if I click this add, instead of clear fields, I can just do helper class dot clear, and then whatever is within this group box. So this is group box 2. So let me just have this group box 2 as a parameter placed here. Group box 2 as a, and this will clear the fields now. You can see the beauty of this. So once you create it, you can use it anywhere. So let me run and show you the magic of this one. Let me go to a batch and let me just do it. Let's say I just want to give it 2020, starting let's say December, and here let's say 2022, and let's create a batch. Let's add, and you see everything got deleted, everything got blank, without even writing a single piece of code here, just by calling the class that I defined inside the helper class. So this is very advantageous, everyone. So once you write a code, you can call it anywhere. So this is the way you make some code redundant free. Anyway, so let me get back to the unit form, subject form, and under the subject form, we are able to do the insert operation very successfully. Now we want to retrieve the value from this grid view to the this corresponding controls, and once you click on the update button, the update has to happen here. So let's see how to do that. Again, this is what we have been doing quite long. So let me click on the self click event, and now let's get the value populated here. So here I need a unit ID now. Unit ID is very mandatory. BGP details dot selected rows, that's 0, and that is now selected rows the unit ID dot value. I'm making a mistake, everyone. There should be dot cells, and there should be unit ID, and then there should be value, and dot to string, and this is to string. That's it. So let me see what else I have here. I can go to Server Explorer, and then I can make things more clear here. Then I have a program name, so I can just make CMD program name. Whether this is CMD program or I just forget CMD program. This is CMD program. The text should be now equal to. Then let me copy this one and let me just make some minute changes. Why to do everything? Let me control this. Everything remains the same. And this one is a program name. That's it. Similarly, I would repeat for the remaining. the button. So CMB batch, and this is batch and semester. That's a semester. I don't know. I think this is a batch or batch. I'm confused. Let me take the table. So unit. Where my unit table is. Refresh this one. That's a batch. Okay. Now after that you have a semester we have done. Now you have a unit name, so txt unit name. So this is unit name. Similarly, you have unit code. This is unit code, and then you have label, and then you have credit. All done, everyone. All the job done properly here. Now let's see whether we are doing it correctly or not. So let me run and see. And let me go to the unit section. Let me select anyone, and I'm doing it right. So we're doing it right. Perfect. We're getting everything that we required here. Now we can easily make an update and delete operation without any delay. We just need to copy this code here, and everything will remain the same. So let me go to designer, let me go to update, let me paste it here. The only things will change with this mode, that is true, and this is updated to the database. That's it. Similarly for delete also, it's very easy. The thing that will change in this mode, that is 3, and delete it from database. So we're done with this work, everyone. Finally, we have been able to complete the unit as well. Let's see admin, and login. And let's say unit part. Let me select anyone. Let me make it. Okay. So what can I change here? Let me say instead of the 010, I want 00010. Let us say this is the unit code. Let me update this, and you can see this is updated here. Very fine, everyone. Let me try to delete this, and you can see this is deleted. Absolutely okay now. So we have been able to do all those work that are related to make and insert, update and delete operations related to this unit. Okay, so we are able to do it now. So now it's your job to do this till here. You need to practice it all well. If you have a question, you can raise your question. Still, I think few of the questions are unanswered, but definitely I'll connect you today, and then I'll get your problems sorted out before 6 o'clock, because after 6 I have my own studies to make. But before that, I'll just connect back to you, and I'll just make sure that whatever problems have, I'll get the issues sorted out. On tomorrow's session, we'll be discussing about this one. This is very tricky, everyone. Here you have a lot of information: student name, address, contact, email, gender, data, plot, program, batch, semester, SCE marks, intermediate marks, and we have to select an image as well, and then we have to click and set this all information to your data. So this is somewhat tricky, very tricky. So this will take a time. This will take a time for us. So we will do this tomorrow, and then obviously then I won't be having a class for a week, and then we'll continue the next week. In the meantime, if you have a question, then you can raise your question in the chat box. So if you have a question, anyone, so please raise your question in the chat box, everyone. So I think nobody has a question to make. So I'm stopping this presentation for now, and just give me a few minutes, everybody, so that if you have no question, then you can start learning this class. Just a second, do not leave, everyone. Take a snap of the figures. Okay, then see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a good day and take care of yourself. And try this in your home.